So we know that the Osu game dramas are probably one of the most lukewarm things that happen. We usually get gifted with these situations every couple weeks or so in Osu game. But in this video, I want to cover the BTMC Toromivana situation is crazy, where essentially there was this Reddit post here made by this deleted man, and he was essentially saying, can we talk about the BTMC reaction to Toromivana's element and Tail of Fire? So he says, saw some discussion around it on Twitter, so I'm curious of the Osu game opinions. Also attached his own tweet about it, and there's this tweet by Toromivana019 where he's saying, BTMC, stop trolling, please. And I'm going to give you guys some context where essentially he seems to be reacting to a play by Toromivana, 1300 PP on Elements and Tail of Fire Flame Flow Productions. And honestly, this play is really, really cool in my own opinion. Like, all of the Osu players, I know there's a lot of used to this 1000 PPs, the 1200s. Like, it's just everyone seems to be getting them left and right. People are born straight off the womb and they're getting 2000 PP plays on Human Centipede DT. And all of these people, it just seems that 1000 PPs are not that special anymore. So I get that perspective, but regardless, you should look at these plays on an individual level and be like, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive. This guy is tapping faster than the speed of light, and he's able to go even better than Willie William, for example. But a lot of these people are playing really, really well in this game. And BTMC, he gets a lot of these reaction requests on his streams, like, hey, can you watch this play by Rafis, Emrek, Toromivana? And he's like, oh, well, whatever, bro. Like, he's kind of, I guess he's tired of it. But I also want to give some more context about who Toromivana is and the whole situation about BTMC, the bit of aura that he has lately. And with Toromivana, so he's essentially this Osu player that just recently sprouted up, and he has like less than 1500 hours or something. Like, he's absolutely cracked, and he's ranked 21. He's gained 1300 PPs left and right. He's playing Descension Heaven, the Elements and Tail of Fire, and he's this Russian guy, Gagdila Zrostovietya, and he's pretty much just playing Osu game like a prodigy here. He might be Emrek's son. I'm not really sure what's going on with him. Maybe he got a genetic upload to his system here. Maybe he's like the Mewtwo to Mew here, but he's essentially really good at this game here. There's a lot of score posts around him recently, making some crazy plays like Descension to Heaven here. And a lot of people are saying that he's a new Osu Shalach. And maybe he is. I don't really know. Maybe he is a new 63er. But in any case, with also the BTMC situation, his aura, where apparently he seems to be wanting to get canceled, where there's this one post here where he's saying, I have no idea what his thought process is, but he keeps bringing up getting canceled this year and stupid as fuck. This is so real. Whenever he talks about 2025 as a year, get canceled, I just turn off the stream, LMAO. So it seems like he wants to get canceled for some reason, and we know that BTMC, he's the type to, I suppose, censor his opinions, and it's probably because sponsorships, brand deals, and whatnot, and he cares super a lot of his public image, which makes sense, right? It's advantageous for him to do that, but I guess he wants to get canceled. I'm not really sure why. Personally, when I think about it, most people who try to seek this type of behavior are doing it out of attention, because perhaps they had a former glory and then nowadays they have a lack of it, and they're just thinking, okay, how can I get that attention back? I'm not going to be stabbing at BTMC here. I'm just speculating on what could possibly be, because that was probably what I probably used to do when I perhaps got quote unquote canceled on some things I like to used to say. But that's pretty much it, right? I'm not really the type of person to super censor my opinions most of the times on these YouTube channels, but in any case, that is the situation of BTMC, and he seems to be grilling and roasting people, having the subathons on Osu, and he might be getting a little jaded recently because he's super playing Minecraft or whatever the fuck. I'm not really sure. I don't really watch Osu content like that, but it seems to be the situation. I think I watched a Dream video and saw BTMC in there, and I was like, let's fucking go, dude. Like, he was fighting Dream's dad or some shit. Like, I was like, what? But it was kind of crazy about that. But I want to show you guys the video with the Toromivana's reaction here, just to give you guys a bit more of an in-depth analysis on the whole BTMC's crazy situation. So I just want to say this before I go on. So this person right here, you guys are probably wondering, but it seems like it's his acquaintance John Porler, and I'm going to show you guys the video by Stu the Goat, and he was essentially talking about who is John Porler, and I was also curious about who this player was, because he seems to be collaborating with all the content creators, the Zutinator, the BTMC, and they're essentially just saying, hey man, well, let's collab, right? And people are really confused where he is. He seems to make some professionalized videos of the editing, the thumbnail. I mean, it's not like it's exactly that competitive to have a audience on Osu YouTube, I would say, honestly. But in any case, he's going to be a professional about it. It seems like he's some Fortnite player, has some connections with the big G's like the clicks here. You guys can watch it if you're curious. I personally watched it to get up to speed on who this character is, but he seems to be a BTMC acquaintance. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe they're just friends, maybe they're business partners, whatever the hell it is, but I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on what it is, but I'll just continue with the video here where he's essentially seems to be grilling the score.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, if he was cheating, he wouldn't have messed up there.
Well, so when you're looking, we're not just looking at whether or not he's cheating, right? Because I can't tell, for me personally. I'm looking at, is the score impressive?
Oh, yeah,
because I don't care about PP, okay? PP is not what designates if a score is good or not, okay? I look at the score itself and see what about the score makes it impressive. Is it actually worth an upvote? Is this something that should be shared amongst the community? Is this worthy news? Because this is the second top post r/Osu game score right now. This got to be like a crazy score, right? So let's take a look. Is the score actually interesting? Do you find the score interesting?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How the fuck? It's boring as shit. It's just 300 ppm streams. Everyone fucking does 300 ppm streams nowadays. This is boring!
Before I continue with this video, I want to talk about his previous points about the PP, why he doesn't care about the score, but essentially, BTMC's argument is that, oh, Toromivana, he just came out of nowhere, he might be a hacker, like, why are people caring so much about his score here? He's getting 1,300, it's okay, why? Who cares, bro? Like, personally, like, the PP-wise, besides that, yeah, I understand that perspective. There's been some hackers in the top 100 lately, so it's reasonable to think he might be a hacker because of recency bias, right? But then there's also the PP value of it, where we know that PP value is just a fucking number at the end of the day. It's not going to ever be a perfect representation of the true difficulty of the song, but it's probably the best estimate, right? But so as a result, it should still carry some sort of weight for how impressive the score would be based off the PP valuation. And this Elements and Tail of Fire, Flame, Flow map, I mean, I personally think it's still a pretty cool map. Even on Nomad, if you FC that, you're pretty nice. But if you do it on DT, that's even nicer, right? And BCMC's like, yo, I don't care because I don't know him. And the PP value, like, who gives a fuck, bro? Like, I don't even know this guy. But, like, he's essentially giving that argument here. I'll give some more thoughts about it later on. Yo, why is BTMC crashing out over 315 BPM streams, bro?
I don't know. I mean, I can't do it, so I think it's
Okay.
pretty cool. But
Yeah, I mean, John Porler, he's having the rational take here. BTMC, I don't know why he has to take the take to be having a negative opinion by the populace. I'm not really sure what is his motive, but I still think it's an attention motive. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's a speculation, honestly. I'm gonna stop him right there. I actually agree with BTMC's hesitance on if he should be hyped out about this Toromivana player, because I don't think there's a live play of this. I mean, maybe it does. I didn't really look too hard, but I don't think there is, because then he wouldn't get accusated. But people, there's questioning the legitimacy of this person, and we know in the past, because of recent bias and that top players in the top 100, would they let it slide? Well, maybe Pepe does let it slide. But essentially, that's what's going on to BTMC here, or Toromivana. So, of course, it's reasonable for him to be skeptical. I don't think it's bad at all. I just want to point out that one aspect. It's not all boom with no doom. But he's essentially just talking a bit more about, okay, why do I care about this player?
Why the fuck are you upvoting
Okay,
score if you don't even care about the actual score? You just see it's a high PP number and upvote? Are you fucking...
Okay. I want to say BTMC does have a point there. I don't think a lot of people actually watch these scores. Maybe there are the rare people who watch the whole ass replays, but even still, because of this large PP saturation and inflation within the Osu game sphere, because of the advent of MREC and all of the Osu players hopping out of the womb, playing 1500 PP plays straight out the womb, hopping on Undertale Sands, hopping on their routines, their CTL 410s, they're essentially going insane. And of course, over time, the average Osu player, the spectator of the scores, over time, they'll be like, okay, this is boring. Everybody does the same map. It seems that everyone gets 1K. Why would I even watch these maps anymore? Like back then, 10 years ago, okay, yeah, that would be kind of insane. Like even a 500 PP would have been absolutely insane to watch. But in 1,000 nowadays, since everyone, it seems to be everyone, and it's because in social media, they push only the best of the best. They only push the exceptions towards you, and they get most of the engagement. That's just the power of law. But that is essentially the case where your brain thinks that everyone is getting 1Ks. And the reality is, no, not everyone's getting 1Ks. It's just what you see through the social media where you only see exceptions and not the rules. And it's not the rule that everyone's getting 1K, by the way. It's just the exception. But it just seems to be that case. I just want to give that argument. But yeah, a lot of people, they're just mentally anchored themselves to this number of what was the latest PP number. Okay, this is the new point here. Okay, well, on an objective level, that's a pretty cool score, a cool number, but your brain only is going to get more dopamine and more satisfaction, and thus motivate you to push the like button when you see a higher number than before. But as players keep getting better and better, the bar just gets higher and higher. So I understand what he means by that and why people don't even watch the scores anymore, because there's no reason to, because everyone just seems to be so good, right? Like, I think BTMC has some points here, but the disrespect on that nobody cares about him, I mean, honestly, I don't even know if I would call it that. I think if he could word it better or word it a different way so that it's not disrespectful, then I think people would actually agree with his take here. I mean, the Toromivana player, of course, it's a bit disrespectful towards him specifically, right? But regardless, I still think he has some valid points about OSU game scores. He gets 41 PP.
But anyways, go next. I don't give a shit.
I mean, yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
cool.
like, you don't have to make those backhanded statements like, I don't give a shit. Like, no, man. No. It's not helping you, man. Is that Willie William?
Forgive. I think that score post was really
That
cool.
was a really good
I thought that
fucking
shit was
score,
really
dude.
cool.
Oh my fucking god.
I couldn't do that shit.
Dude, that is so impressive.
I thought
I'm really happy for this guy.
And the thing is, that might be play of the year.
Honestly, dude, we need to
That-
get this guy in the OSU Rewind 2025 immediately.
I can't watch this anymore. That was just getting cringe, bro. I don't know why I was just glazing him with sarcasm now. But I want to talk about the apology here. So it seems that BTMC dropped an apology on this because he's getting so much backlash. But so let's look at this where he says, I never downplayed the skill set. They asked for my opinion and I said my opinion. I'm an expert on my opinion. When I see speed play number blah, 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 it is my opinion that the play is pretty boring. I've seen many other plays like it. It doesn't stand out to me. I'm not impressed. I do care about my own progress. Speed is something I'm working to improve at, and I'm working every day to get better at it. I play for myself and celebrate my own achievements. I don't need the validation of others to be happy with my scores. I would like to believe speed players don't need my opinion to be happy with their scores either. Yeah, I mean, he has a point that there's a lot of speed plays and that you just don't care because it seems like everyone gets it, right? And that he only really cares about his own progress. But it makes sense, right? You're most likely going to care about your own progress more than anybody else's, right? It's just human nature to do that. But the thing where he says, I don't need the validation of others to be happy with my scores, and he doesn't need the speed players to opinion for their scores either. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think this drama here is just lukewarm again. It's just fucking dumb here. And this guy's comments here, TLDR, I don't care. So, I mean, seriously, I don't think that reply was the best written, in my opinion. He could have perhaps worded it a little bit more gracefully, and I don't know what else to say, bro. But I think he has a point that the speed is, there's a lot of plays, right? And you get bored of it over time. But to blatantly disrespect is one person, just pick on the Toromivana here and say that, oh, I don't care, this play is not even impressive, is a bit disrespectful. I still think that. I think that's the main point and the main thing that people are angry about. It's not exactly like what BTMC is saying. Like, I think what he's saying is actually valid, the arguments he are giving, but it's just the way he's just downplaying his achievements and another person's achievements instead of being happy for them. Like, why would you be putting doom on another person if it weren't for some other ulterior motive except for maybe jealousy or envy or whatnot, right? Like, personally, my own motive, I am never really the type of person to really shit on anybody. I don't really like spreading this bad energy. They like to call it the evil eye, where it removes, it strips the blessings that are blessed onto another person. Personally, whenever I see another person and they have an achievement, I would say, let's fucking go, dude, that's fire. I'm usually the type of positive person about it. You could argue if that's cringe or not or whatever the fuck, but that's personally the way I live life. So personally, I want to be the type of person downplaying any other person's achievements, and I would probably suggest other people to do the same, right? Because it's only a net positive to speak good about other people instead of to downplay on them their achievements, right? Because it's probably important to them, but then for you to just say, oh, I don't care, whatever, it's, I mean, unless you're very prideful about it somehow, but I just don't know. It's not really my favorite. But I want to play this apology video, the final reaction.
I'm being a fucking asshole. And he's right. He's 100% right. And I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
I'm sorry for the people who
That's a good
saw
first
this
step,
clip
I suppose.
And I'm sorry for the people who saw this clip with the expectation of me celebrating this achievement, which that's what it should be. I built this brand on celebrating the achievements of myself and later on celebrating the achievements of others.
I can't help but think that his wording just sounds so corporate. But yeah, I think it's acceptable apology for now. I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the most lukewarm dramas ever. Like, I don't think BTMC deserves to get super backlash or anything for this, and perhaps his own attitude, his own motives, or whatever he's trying to do get canceled for some reason. I mean, just let him be, I suppose. I'm not really against whatever the fuck he's doing, and whatever he does, whatever he decides to do, then it's his choice, right? I suppose it's a bit influential because BTMC, he is the face of Osu game, right? He is the mascot of it, and for him to essentially be sort of washed by other people's mindsets in terms of not only perhaps Osu scale, but perhaps also from the perspective of as a content creator, as a personality. Well, I suppose it makes sense that people, they look at him and say, okay, well, this is just boring. I don't care. And it depends on what he's going to do personally. If I were BTMC and go on this new path, well, I mean, I understand that BTMC, he has to take on the role that he admonished onto his own self, bestowed on his own self to relish in the success of Osu game, bring it to other audiences and make it as big as possible. And in my own opinion, I mean, it's a very chivalrous purpose to do that. Personally, I wouldn't do that because I think there are better things, which is why BTMC, it makes sense for him to look at other audiences, perhaps the Genshin Impact of Minecraft, because those audience pools have larger numbers where he could probably extract more people from to grow his business, which is his YouTube channel, right? And it makes sense for him to grow more of a range of audience. He should probably outreach to more people, right? In Osu game, it's only so big, so I understand his perspective here, but I just think that's some yap about BTMC. Whatever the fuck he does about it, this is lukewarm as fuck. I don't really have other thoughts about this except that, wow. But that's pretty much all I'm saying in this video. This BTMC Toromivana situation, I think it's a nothing burger. I don't think it's anything like we should care about. But I just wanted to talk about it anyways because I don't know. These dramas are just fun to talk about, I guess. But I'll see you guys.